is Amy Marks. I'm the president of XSite Modular, and we are a company that focuses on enabling and optimizing the use of prefabrication and off-site construction. We look at the off-site world as a continuum of elements, and it starts with intelligent materials. Intelligent materials for us is anything that reduces drying time, curing time, waiting time, installation time. It also allows for them to have operational costs that are lower. So in the case of Prelude Max, their energy costs will be lower because they have a sealed system. They're also able to move the equipment around in the room without having to penetrate. So this was a lot of the conversations that we had when talking about this product as an intelligent material, because it just makes the building a better building based on what is just specified. So this particular project was for a client that had a need in Brazil.
One of the benefits, side benefits of using the Prelude Max system on top of all the other inherent benefits for us was the fact that because we're a modular manufacturer and we have to relocate our buildings, so we fabricate them here in the US, test them, break them apart, load them onto a truck, a ship, and get it down to an overseas location for reassembly, that every product we choose, as I said, needs to accommodate that transportation. So while these modules are trucked across the country, loaded onto a ship, they exhibit or are exposed to, the worst seismic criteria that you're ever going to see in any seismic event. If we do a traditional ceiling grid, there's quite a lot of reinforcement that we have to do in order to stabilize the diaphragm, especially as you have no module to the left or right, and it's pretty much a free-floating grid. If that were just supported by cables, that would move around, crack, break, and we probably couldn't install it in our factory without having a significant amount of repair work to do on site once we reassemble it. Because this is a structural grid, we were able to install that complete in the factory, ship it, and it arrived on site with absolutely no damage to the grid whatsoever.
As we have Prelude Max in two different modules as they ship, we have to do a mate line connection between the two modules. So we actually leave out a bit of the ceiling structure on both sides of each of the modules. When they come together, what's great about them is that we can actually pre-cut those pieces and we zip tie them to the piece next to it. So we don't even look for that material when we get down. We literally just cut the zip tie and make the connection between the modules, and then the ceiling looks back like it was built conventionally in about 15 minutes. In this space, just like in the data center world, they're moving to hot and cold aisle containment. So in the past, where we were able to utilize a hard ceiling, that's no longer an option for us, and we need to have a plenum for either supply or return.
We opted to avoid the costly raised access floor and instead went with a suspended ceiling and had a return plenum above the white space. Most of our cable distribution, both fiber optic cable and DC power distribution cable and signal cable, is all done overhead, so that there's a significant amount of cable tray and fiber ducting that occurs above the equipment that has to be tied back to structure. One option is to carry that up through your ceiling system, and you have to deal with all the penetrations to that. We opted to go with a cleaner solution, the Prelude Max system, which allows you to directly suspend that cable tray and fiber ducting directly off of the grid, which allowed us a lot of flexibility as far as where that equipment could be placed, because the racks needed to be obviously directly above the equipment. So we didn't have to sit on a certain grid. We could position the equipment anywhere and position the cable tray anywhere. And if we so wanted, we could even move it. And that actually did occur, where during construction, after the design was approved, the entire cable tray had to move over about 3 or 4 inches. And using a conventional system, we would have had to replace all those tiles, redraw the penetrations, reattach the threaded rod back up to the structural steel. It would be quite a lot of effort, and we probably couldn't have been able to do it for the client. In this case, it was a very small order to be able to just remove the connector clips from the Prelude Max grid, slide them over, and make the change with, we didn't even get a change order from our electrician on that, actually. And that same flexibility is offered to the client, after we hand over the building, because in these facilities, the one big thing is technology improvement. if you have the ability to move your cable tray along with your equipment very easily, there's a huge benefit for the client because he may completely change his equipment layout every 5 years. We were pleasantly surprised with the amount of load that can be supported with a Prelude Max system and the flexibility that you get with it. And one of the things that gave us a lot of comfort was the fact that the Prelude Max system can support a 62-pound per square foot load, which far exceeded our 25-pound per square foot load, which was quite helpful. Because
it's always great when you're looking at new products, especially innovative products, when you're looking at them from a large company that has a well-known brand name. So we know that Armstrong stands behind this product. So I think that always makes a big difference, that if it comes from a place where, they stand behind what they do, it gives you a lot of comfort level in being able to utilize the company and also their engineering services and anything that comes along with a big company.